Hey guys, welcome to the second video in the Founder to CEO series that is focused on one of the four peoples, and that is your people. If you have ever hired in the past, or if you have any current employees that you feel like you're having to constantly ping to ask the question of what are you doing? When are you going to have this for me? What's happening over there? Then this video is actually for you. In this video, I'm going to show you how to set up your backend systems so that you have clear visibility into what everyone is doing, when it's going to be due, how the progress is coming along, and so that you have confidence in that everything that you need to progress the outcomes forward in your business is actually happening when you need it to. Most founders who have never led a team before, or have never led a team that is involved in their own business, the baby that they're actually building, end up in the zone of micromanagement. And that's because they have no visibility. They aren't clear in the priorities for their business. There's no single clear line of communication. They don't operate from agreements. We're going to talk about what that is in a little bit. There's no single source of truth within their business. And they have too many tools not designed with the outcome in mind, what they're trying to actually achieve. This episode directly builds on the one that you watched previously on onboarding, and it's going to help give you visibility into your business and into what your new employees are actually doing to progress forward the vision that you have for your company. Look, I am here to challenge the belief that you have to hire someone experienced or expensive in order to get real results in your business. You can create leverage if you hire the right people and then set your systems up intentionally. So we're going to talk about exactly what that looks like today. Because the truth is, if you don't know what is being worked on, when it's due, the constraints that are blocking it, and the progress that is actually pushing forward in your business, then your brain is going to start to fill in all of those gaps with a certain amount of anxiety. And that is going to show up as you trying to micromanage the whole situation. It's going to lead you to constantly ask, what exactly are they doing over there? Why am I paying this person? It also shows up as, are these people actually even working? Why do I have to do everything? No one else can do this like me. And once that starts to plague your brain, it's going to erode the trust that you have built in your relationship. And it's going to really hinder you in being able to progress forward as the CEO and the visionary. But once you're crystal clear in what your priorities are for your business, and once you set up your systems intentionally to give you actual visibility into what's happened, once you start to operate by agreements instead of expectations, it is going to change your entire business and how you hire in the future. So let's talk about that today and jump into it right now. Hey, look, guys, and if you need a little support in this, I host a free live training every single month. You can click the link in the description to get the invite to the next one that I'm hosting. I talk about how to help you free up 10 to 20 hours of your week and lay the foundation to build your $1 million plus business. So if you're going through this content and you have a ton of questions, please join the next free live training. Again, the link is in the description below. So the first step in all of this is that you've got to pick a project management tool. That is essential to being able to have visibility into what your team is doing, and also to start to get things out of your brain. I recommend Asana for most first-time founders, as it is super intuitive and easy to set up, but ClickUp, Monday, Notion, all of these will work. Just pick the one that really resonates best with you and the vision that you have for the future. Look, the tool that you choose actually matters less than how you're going to use it. You're going to use it to actually give you visibility again into exactly what your VAs are doing and how it aligns with the outcomes and the priorities that you've defined for your business. Look, and I'm going to tell you right now that you've got to be the first one to live in it, because if you aren't setting the precedent for your team, they're not going to adopt it either. So that's your role as the founder and CEO, is to get it set up and then to start to live in it so that you can set the precedent and so that your team adopts the best practices here too. A great project management tool is meant to be a huge time saver. It's meant to get things out of your brain, which is super important as you start to evolve into the role of CEO. The things that live in your brain are the things that you're most likely supposed to hand off. And you've got to start to clear up space so that you can strategically think about how to progress your business forward. This is how you're going to get away from practicing those spaghetti noodle strategies or being plagued by the entrepreneurial ADHD that so many of us get hit with. This is how you're going to clearly define your outcomes and priorities. This is where you're going to live. This is where your team's going to live. Again, to make sure that everything that you're doing is really creating the momentum to move you forward to where you want to go. One of the first things that you want to set up is actually your CEO dashboard. It's highly likely, and it should be probable, that you're actually living in your project management system before your team does. Once you bring on a virtual assistant or another team member, they can set the rest of the back end up for you. But in the beginning, you do want a CEO dashboard. This is the place that you live in. It is where your team adds and connects the tasks that align to the priorities that you've set for your business. It's where you assign out priorities to them and have clear visibility without having to jump into all of their dashboards. It is where you're going to see the deadlines and the due dates at a glance. So you're going to know if they're actually keeping the agreements that they've made with you in the future. This is also how you're going to assign out work without having to micromanage your team, where you're going to stop holding any tasks in your head. You can even make a task there to just brain dump to hold for a future date. And it's how you're going to lead without having to chase down your people and find out what they're doing. Your dashboard should really be built around a few key things. Those include strategic planning, the 4 Ps, your people, processes, priorities, and performance, your $1 million plus destinations, that is your vision, ideal role, client experience, and the metrics that define your performance. It should also have something around marketing and sales, because we all know that is how you're going to grow the revenue for your business to continue to afford more people in the future. It should include an area for decisions, notes, and agendas. Look, setting up your system in this way is going to limit entrepreneurial ADHD, which is actually going to limit burnout for you on your part. The system is going to tell you and the team what you need to focus on so that you can create some real momentum to progress your business forward. It is going to reduce decision fatigue on your part and the part of your team. It's going to prevent overload as you start to grow and scale. Again, it's going to help you define out those priorities and for your team to know what's really important to move the needle forward. And in less than 10 to 15 minutes a week, you can now check in on how your team's doing, what they're doing, and when it's going to be coming your way in order to help you do what it is that you need to do on your side. And so I'm here to tell you, like, it works whether you have one virtual assistant, you've got 10 team members, or you've got 100. Actually, it works better as your team grows, and it keeps things out of your brain, and it keeps the questions from plaguing you at night when you're trying to sleep. We all know what that looks like when you're laying there in the middle of the night going, what is that person doing? When can I have this? I needed that yesterday. This helps limit all of that for you. Once you have systems like this in place, leadership, it gets so much easier. And this is where your one-on-ones will start actually producing some real results. And so we're going to talk about that in the next episode. We're going to talk about how to have effective one-on-ones that really produce the outcomes, again, that you want to create. If you've not watched video 1 in this series around the people that you're hiring, make sure you go back and do that so that you can effectively onboard someone in less than 30 days. And if you want more help in learning how to free up 10 to 20 hours of your time and lay the foundation for your $1 million plus business for yourself and for your team, then please click the link below in the description. Join one of my upcoming free live monthly trainings. It is a private event, an invite only event. So click that description below and I'll make sure that you get the invite. Remember, all of this is about clarity and your systems setup. So set up your systems first, then have intentional and progressive conversations with your team. That is how you're going to stop micromanaging. And that's how you're going to create real momentum to build the business that you've always been dreaming about.